we are back.
Yo.
Welcome to the In Between Show. We ain't got a special name for it, but we here. Here with it, we here with it. All right, bet. So, all right. So, depending on. All right, you ready?
If you're good, I'm good, buddy. A Drake and SZA song.
Mm-hmm.
A Drake and SZA song.
Was this a real question?
Which one?
Sir, was there any concern that he would team up with another small man to step inside of a trench coat, Little Rascal style?
There's no way that was a real question. There's no fucking way. Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Yo, for those who didn't hear that, so the guy they were chasing around, they asked if he was ever going to step in a coat with another person, Little Rascal style.
Right.
They said so you go around. Wow. Moral of the story. Everything's a joke. Nothing is real.
Once it touches the internet, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Alright. We gonna make this shit work. I'm ready when you are, sir.
Yeah, got it, buddy. All right, and
Yo, what it do, world? How you feeling? How you living, man? We are live. We are back. We in this motherfucking booth, man. It's your boy Oak on the mic, and this is the greatest podcast to ever touch your airways, the Fresh Cuts Pod, fresh off the shape up, as you do each and every Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. By the time you hear this, it will be 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
At least.
So it'll drop at least a couple seconds after, but you know, here we are. Here we living, man. But I got Pedro in the booth, man. Rudy's still using PTO another week, but brother, how you feeling? How you living, man? What's
look,
going
man,
on?
we're good. We're good off another shape up. Clearly, money does matter. Age maybe doesn't matter as much, depending on how old you are, which is interesting. If you didn't see that, go back, check it out. Yo, go to our Instagram page. If you can't catch up with us on the shape up, we post all the lives. So you can go back and watch them, share them, comment, do all the things like that. And we love the input. We asked some good questions. We started with like one question, then it went off to like 12 other ones.
We
as per usual.
Down.
So it was good though, man. So I'm good with that. It's been a pretty decent week. Weather's still been holding on.
Yep.
Because, the second you start saying September, start trying to get nippy, but it hasn't been. But it hasn't been too much.
Minus the rain. We've had a couple, some
needed
rain. Yeah, of course.
That's an old head statement right there. We needed the rain.
It even shit out, because it was stupid hot outside, and I'll say since it rained, it's been about mid-70s. It's decent weather outside. I love it.
That would be fair.
But yeah, man, it's getting to that time, man. Football season is upon us. Baseball season is kind of winding down.
The playoffs like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's just kind of dope. We're in a really good time right now. And guess what? You're in a really good place because you are listening to your favorite podcast. So
yeah,
we're gonna dive into the show, man. And you know we like to start this off with a thought-provoking question and conversation. I seen this very funny video, and
my favorite kind.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask this question. So have you ever been in a situation where you are face to face with somebody having a pure conversation? The conversation could be good, dope, boring as fuck, and whatever, somewhere in the middle, right?
Okay.
But there's always a but.
There's always a but.
Said person you're speaking with, they breath stank. And I ain't talking about S-T-I-N-K, S-T-A-N-K, motherfucker. Like, that shit humming. Like, that shit you done turn your head and the shit done smack shit out you type shit. What do you do in that situation? Like, what is a polite way to tell someone they breath stink? Or you just kind of dealing with the shit?
Well, I think it also depends on how well you know. I mean, do I know this person? I just met this person, things like that. So, like, if they breath smell like a pile of doo-doo, right? Essentially, like, you can kind of take that casual, not necessarily like, I'm sorry, you're sitting here, right? You kind of hit that lean back a little bit, like, kind of hit a lean to an angle so you're not directly in the air path of your airway. There have been times where I take a step back, just get a little space, get a little Jesus between us, what I mean? We got, or, I mean, if you're equipped with the proper, bat belt, things like that, maybe you have
not the utility belt.
Maybe you have the gum or the mitt in your pocket. You grab a piece.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you want a piece?
Yeah.
It wasn't really an option. But I was just, hey, I was figuring I'd get it. So I definitely did that, and that's helped that situation. I was like, ooh, hey, it's too early.
Right.
It's too early for
trying to figure shit out.
It's too late for this. It's never the right time for this. Whatever happens to be, it's never the right time to be out here, smelling like you didn't lick the bottom of the wrong thing.
I hate that for you. I hate that.
You gotta share gum, man.
I'm very similar to you in my responses is saying that.
Remember Listerine strips?
Like what?
Remember they used to carry like little square Jones?
Yeah.
What happened to those?
But they kind of disappeared. I don't even know if they still make them. Nowadays I see people with Bensons more so.
No, I was just thinking about that because remember
it
was like high school. Like high school, like you kind of had it. That was kind of fire.
Shit, little melt on your tongue and shit, like
right. But people would have those all the time. So like if you didn't like, let me get a little Listerine strip.
Yeah.
Them Jones actually kind of worked for real. But I was like. That was that time where it's like, ooh, hey, I'm about to get a little minty mint on your tongue. You know what I mean?
I would say I'm very similar to you.
Yes,
where
sir.
this just comes like, I'm a person. I like quality conversations. I like one-on-one type style conversations. So, I will do everything in my power not to wear that emotion of damn your breath stink on my face. But very similar to you, I would definitely try to find a way to kind of slide the shit in there. Like you said, just take a step back. I might take a piece of gum. I'm gonna find a way to offer it, but not offer it to you. Like I'm gonna pull a stick out for you and put it in your face. Here you go. You should have a piece of gum type shit. Like, just to make like giving you a hint without giving you a hint type shit. It's a very delicate situation sometimes because you don't really know how they're gonna respond.
Sure.
But you also want to look out for the cookout too. Like if my man is coming to me, he say something to me like, oh, "Bro, you might want," you know what I'm saying? You might want to take this little piece of gum real quick, or you might want to choose a little mint real quick.
Good looking doo-doo.
But I hate that for you. But it's just one of those situations that because we are people. When I say that, it's just like we like the human interaction that comes with meeting other people.
Sure.
You're going to be face to face, and you're going to be in some situations where people got less and less use of personal hygiene, to say the least. So there are some creative ways and techniques to hint a piece of gum or mint if need be. What I will say, and this is why I guess this brought up this conversation. Y'all know the VMAs just recently happened a few days ago. There was a zoomed in clip of Ice Spice and Taylor Swift having a conversation. And
I don't know why they tagged that, yo.
And when I tell you, the way Ice Spice looked at her and the way her face, I was like,
Was
yo,
curled up.
I was like, that was the face of somebody's breath who stank. Like, T Swift needed to pop a mint. She needed a couple of Listerine packs, brother.
Yo.
I felt bad for her when I seen the face.
But the thing is, I don't know if that was really what it was.
But that's what the shit
Or
was.
if that's what though, it's really funny because we always catch like these freeze frames. We always catch these pictures of these moments and
That's
times in
what
history.
she did.
And it's like, yeah, her face was twisted up like she got hit with a whoa. Like
That shit
like,
smacked the fuck out of her. Like,
hey, you.
it looked like she was trying to get out of the conversation, like, but couldn't find an out.
But you in the side seats, you got sit next to Shorty the whole time.
And you trying to. I feel like in those situations, you try to start conversation with everybody else except for her. So you talking to a person's here, right? Yo, did you see that? That shit crazy.
Right.
Meanwhile, T Swift tap you, go girl. Like, you try to ignore,
Yo.
so you got to turn your head.
That was kind of like, when we used to ride the school bus as a kid, and you had to sit next to the kid who either like had a crazy breath or smelled crazy. Like, first of all, it's too early to be smelling this. This is
Yeah,
wild.
right. Then
And
did
just
you
over
brush
there-
your teeth?
You just over there staring out the window.
Right.
Or if they were sitting on the inside, you was staring out the aisle.
What Lady
Just-
LaShore say? Brush your teeth. Brush your teeth.
Yeah, I'm saying before you put my name in your mouth, man, you gotta brush your teeth. Gotta hit some dientes, man. You gotta make sure you get the gums too, man.
Listen,
Just
you
everybody's wild.
you can't be out here having full-blown conversations early in the morning knowing damn well you still got the yuck mouth. Like, come on, bro.
I think the crazy part to me though is like when people are like engaged in, like how you start your day
Stank.
talking crazy or
Yeah.
worried about anything. I'm saying
Yeah.
if you're not right, you know what I'm saying. Like there are very few things I would say like I'm concerned with in the world before I brush my teeth in the morning.
Yeah.
That are outside of like my direct world. Like, yeah, you gonna scroll a little social media, maybe maybe what is it? Maybe check the news, maybe a little notification.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot I'm going to do before I have gotten up and at least brush the teeth.
Right.
Try. Look. You may not take a full blown shower before maybe crawl back in the bed and looks 15 minutes. But I'm like, you can't be out here really living your life. Can't switch a little Listerine. Yeah. Can't a little floss. Get a little something.
You gotta take care of yourself, man. It's personal hygiene, man. It goes, and to me, it's still baffling how people still miss the mark. People still are out here with fucking dirty ass drawers on. People are out here leaving the crib without brushing their teeth.
Shit. Crazy comments.
Like it's almost some wild
worry
shit.
about other
Like,
lives.
You crazy talking about somebody living their lifestyle on Instagram. You ain't even fucking wash your face. You still got the eye crusties in your goddamn shit. Like, come on, bruh. It still baffles me that because I know how highly we value personal care. And how highly you should value personal care. But there's still people that don't take it as seriously. And I just don't get it.
I mean, you only get one bite, but I mean, we've talked about this on different things. How often you shower, how often you do manicure, pedicure, how often you get a haircut, how often you do whatever. I mean, I think that at the end of the day, I mean, whatever makes you happy, happy. It ain't my room to judge you. I don't have to live in your body. That is my body, whatever happens to be. But it's just funny to me because that picture and that video where people were looking at it was like, I don't know if it was true or false.
Her
Or
face was
maybe
twisted
she
the fuck
said
up.
something crazy. Maybe she said something crazy. It was like, yo, did you see this interview? Like, huh? Because her face also was kind of like in confusion. I don't know if it's confusion as to how your breath can smell that terrible, or confusion as to why you're saying or what you said at that moment at that time. So I mean, something of course we'll never know. The funny part was they actually did go on tour. Ice Spice did. She has a song with Taylor Swift, I'm pretty sure, that did well. So they were on tour. So I would imagine if you went on tour, somebody then sat with them in an award show. I'd imagine probably the hygiene questions are probably out of the question at this point because we already know each other. So I'm hoping and aspiring that this was just a funny moment caught on camera. Somebody kind of made a little narrative, and we just gonna run with it. But at the end of the day, make sure you brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth, man. Take care of yourself.
And if you don't know if you did, brush them again. That's all. Get a little mouthwash.
If you gotta ask the question, you probably should just brush it again.
Sugar-free gum. Feel free to chew it.
It's out there. You know what I mean?
Chew it out there. Can't hurt you.
Oh shit. Well, with personal hygiene, that's a big thing. I know we had a conversation about relationships on the live, which I'm starting to think that this is a recurring theme, and I love it. Like we are in
I got a small commercial break for you. So, we're on Twitch, by the way. Let's talk about Twitch.
Okay.
So, sorry, a comment came through, and someone asked, "Can you give morning head without brushing your teeth?" The answer is absolutely yes.
Give me that shit because Listen.
I think you're a serial killer if you brush your teeth to then give head.
You're a serial killer?
I mean, why?
You want some minty fresh head?
Actually, no.
You don't want minty fresh head?
I mean,
You want your mans to be all tingly and shit?
who's man's?
Your mans.
Next
No, I think so. So the head.
I think that's nuts to get up and do that.
Yeah,
it's like people would take a shower in the morning before having morning sex. I'm like,
Why?
why?
No,
For what?
no.
You're gonna take a shower after again. Like,
it's okay. No,
I do not
hey,
understand.
Listen, if in the morning, like give me. Here's also another thing too. If you're my person, like. I feel like at that point in time, that's not going to really bother me. I'm going to be dealing with fucking morning breath every fucking day of our lives. I'm going to be living with you anyway.
Yeah.
It's going to be fucking 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and you going to roll over and fucking yawn in my goddamn face. Oh, what the fuck? Like, there's going to be times for that shit. So I feel like that's a different scenario if you're my person. It's all, like, it ain't no fucking hold bars. You want to fucking wake up in the morning and insert that shit, by all means. Do what you got to do.
Wait, now, I mean, but how long is it from someone being a new person to your person, the fact that you are now finding these things acceptable?
I think you have already come to that level of comfortability if you're going to call that person your person. It's not going to be...
So once we deem your person as a title.
Right.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like someone you spend a lot of time with, someone you're comfortable with. Oh, so your person, you're talking about the premise right before said girlfriend.
Yeah, I feel like at that point you're not really going to give a fuck. Like, it's going to be one of those, like, out of sight, out of mind. Like, and, you know, I've been and seen situations where it's a playful thing. Like, sure, you know your birthday, you better go. I've seen that shit. Like, I've seen all the playful banter and all that shit. So it really depends on what works for you. But I feel like at that point in time, that wouldn't necessarily matter.
I mean, you have people out here in full blown tryouts for a cuffing season. So then we just want to make sure that here at Fresh Cuts Podcast we give you all the keys, tips, and tricks.
Did you advance in a week, or you still say week?
No, that's like a 3 week. No, you did the first 4 weeks. That's all tryouts. September.
I know, but did you advance in your tryouts? Like, did you just?
Where they at? You been there.
Oh, okay.
If you ain't there, you ain't there.
All right.
If you're gonna get somewhere, you might as well try to get there.
Okay.
But if you ain't there, might as well try to get somewhere.
I heard y'all are accepting cuffing applications. Listen, shoot your shot. That's what I'll say. Listen, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if you want to shoot your shot at us two fine gentlemen at the Fresh Cut spot, by all means. One of Rudy's married, so he don't really count. But it is what it is. All I can say is shoot
what was
your
his
shot.
hall pass?
Fuck. Who was his hall pass?
If you his hall pass, just tee up.
Tee the fuck off.
Tee up.
Tee the fuck off. 6 says she trying to apply. Oh, 6 in the comment section. Yo, I know y'all listening. And y'all gonna hear like the replay of this show come Thursday.
Word.
But
watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, watch on YouTube. We're gonna have the playback of the live broadcast. But I'm just gonna set the premise. I know we talk about it every week. You're gonna hear us go off the rails sometimes. We like to be interactive. The same way as we do with y'all on the live is the same way we do with the comment section.
We really try to follow the questions.
Yeah, so we listen. We like to talk about what y'all want to talk about. So it makes shit interactive. So sometimes it sounds like we got ADD just switching comments and topics like that. No, we appease it to the people. We talk about what the people
Actually,
want
not
to
at
talk
all. That's actually how we've been talking for the better part of 15 years.
That part too. I try to make it sound professional, but you just say fuck it.
I have had some of the most misdirected and all over the place conversations with some of the people I know over the last decade of my life. And you're sitting there like 30 minutes later, like, how did we get here? And everyone's just sitting there like,
you're trying to connect all the fucking dots and shit.
No idea.
Mm-hmm.
No idea.
But nah, man, it's just one of those situations where, back to the personal hygiene stuff, just take care of yourself, take care of your body. If you take care of your body, guess what? Fun fact, your body will take care of you. So, do what you gotta do.
That insurance thing or? Okay.
Law.
I like that.
It's by law.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So back to the relationship conversation. This is something that has spilled over because I know we brought it up in conversation and we talked about how meaningful or not meaningful some of these things are. We're talking about zodiac signs today, guys. And the question here, and I thought this was kind of funny, just more so the comment section. worst zodiac sign you have ever dated, and why? Tell the people. The people want to know.
Oh man.
The people want to know.
I mean, off the top of my head, I would.
Now, let me set the premise before you answer that. Let me set the premise. I know because I know you say it. So 2/3, because I can't answer for Rudy because we've never had this conversation. 2/3 of the Fresh Cuts pod definitely agreed that you are not defined or governed by your zodiac sign.
Absolutely.
It is to me it's a personality trait, right? It's
every zodiac sign
literally a
has
personality
pieces of shit.
Of course.
Every zodiac sign has
Of course.
great people.
Right. So this is not governing you.
However,
I just found the shit funny.
Some of you have conglomerates of shitty people. No, I'm just kidding. No, anyway,
some of you do have conglomerates.
I would say that the toughest I've run into, which is funny because it's supposed to be one of the you get along greats. I don't know. I have been cancers are tricky. Okay, Cancers are tricky. I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm not saying they're all good. Anyway, it's funny because I'm supposed to be a sworn against Aries, and both my parents are Aries, and I have a perfect relationship with my parents. So that's why I'm supposed to not be with Cancers, but me and my parents get along perfectly. Yeah, and sometimes I feel like too, your family dynamic is a little different too. But I'd probably say that I wouldn't say that I didn't enjoy the time or that I would ever talk to a Cancer or that they're all terrible. No one said that, but I've been tripped up by the Cancer sign once, twice, or thrice.
Okay.
So there you go.
Well, our 6 is in the comment section. She says she is a Cancer. So.
Didn't say it at all. All I said was I have been tripped up once, twice, or thrice. That's all I would say.
Okay. So Cancers.
They're literally named after a disease. That needs a lot of help to get rid of. A lot of help.
There may not be a cure. We're gonna talk about it later. But
it's funny you brought that
up. I would say
cure
for
yourself
me,
of cancers.
Personally, I would say overall, and this is kind of similar to you.
Aquariuses.
January Aquariuses.
I was close.
January Aquariuses. Listen, there is a difference between a January Aquarius and a February Aquarius,
On
right?
paper there is.
So you said you don't think there is?
I said on paper there is.
On paper there isn't. But
okay, real quick, let me give you a premise, buddy. I can name majority of the zodiac signs and somewhere near their premise of where they are.
Oh yeah.
Because of friends who are that.
Yeah.
I do not feel comfortable saying, can you name all of them in calendar order and tell me when they start, Buddy, I'm going to fail that test.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, there's a few month periods I'm like, you're,
Yeah.
Hold it.
Give me a second. I got to reference you based
I know
on
you're
my
not
other
a
friends.
Capricorn because that's me and I know what my birthday is. I know that, certain ones.
Right.
So I think that's also why, zodiac signs are cool, but, someone said their birthday, I'm like, oh, you're and they're like, no. But it was actually a really funny comedian I was listening to. And he said, guys, just start lying about your birthday. Because what we're going to do is we're going to look up who you are and see how compatible you are. And say all these things, this, that, and the third. And then you're just going to wait 6-7 months and be like, not at all. No, that's not my birthday. That is not my sign. I am nothing of the sort. It's cheating a little bit. I have mine, as a tattoo. So, I understand that if you can cheat and figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, no, I it's a gift and a curse. It's the same as the Chinese calendar.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the year of the horse. Cute. Adam. Okay.
I wrote a horse.
Maybe. Yeah, okay. Adam. Okay. Here's the meeting. I wrote a horse.
Fuck.
Your zodiac sign, your Chinese calendar symbol.
Your moon, your sun, your rising, your...
But there's other people that swear up and down by it. There's other people that read, the horoscope. But there's other people that also, kind of put together a pretty decent picture of someone when they put all of these things all together. So, your rising... Please don't let me misquoting. I have a few friends that are going to be like, I told you this before. Right, I can hear it right now. It's you're rising this, your left, right, whatever your sign is at high tide, whatever the fuck it is, it's fine.
High tide.
Whatever builds your character, essentially,
what the fuck?
and puts it all together. Dude, I
this nigga said
I'm very new to some of this. I don't know, dude.
I would say back to the point that I was...
But, I'm a Capricorn. But yes. I know... I think I'm a pretty dope person, but I know shitty Capricorns.
Yeah.
Like, I know people that are every side, good, bad, and different. Like, my brother, for example, my blood brother, is a Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing. Stand-up guy.
Yep.
I would hang out with him 10 out of 10 days.
But that also goes back to your point you were making earlier as far as like,
Right.
the difference between the family dynamic and shit like that. The reason why I brought up January Aquarius, and I always make this analogy because I seen this video and it I could never explain it to someone personally.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, what do you mean? You're an Aquarius too?" No, there's a difference. It's like having a fucking. You like cheeseburgers, right? You like burgers, right?
Sure.
Yeah, you buy a good burger, right?
Why not?
Fuck, why not, right?
Can't go
Little,
wrong.
little double patty, little lettuce, tomato, cheese action, whatever the case may be. So guess this. Peep this. Ready? Aquariuses, no matter January or February, are a burger. But it's so fucking good that you don't notice until the end that the one burger ain't had no goddamn cheese on it. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is January Aquarius. Okay, moving on.
It sounds very personal. You want to spend more time on the show, kind of
Also,
walk away. Okay. Oh, well, there's more details.
well, no. I think this is more so recent, and I don't know if it's a personality trait that I'm trying to figure out with some of y'all. But y'all Virgos, y'all be interesting motherfuckers. Like I thought that there were some people who just kind of fall off the face of the earth, but like I guess some of the more recent Virgos I've either dealt with or talked to or just kind of met, they be falling off the face of the motherfucking earth. Like they'll text you hi 5 days in a row, and then you'll say what's up 6 days in a row, and you won't hear shit back till the 8th day, and you're like, the fuck did you go? And it's to them it's just sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
Falls face earth.
I
can never understand.
I got
okay.
I got a few signs that do that.
I'm not gonna go in. We said it for another day.
Can't do that.
You can holler at me off the fucking air, and we can have a detailed conversation. That's enough about zodiac signs.
But
Anyway,
at the end of the day, there's good and bad in every sign, buddy.
they said fuck them Virgos. That's what they saying in the comment section.
With
That's
your chest?
well, this is in the comment section. 6 out here saying fuck them Virgos. She said a February Aquarius is a bacon deluxe cheeseburger. Got it. But no, it's you kind of mentioned Cancer, and this is a very wild transition. I didn't want to talk too much about this. I just thought it was kind of dope.
Okay.
We are witnessing black magic every single day, and when I say that, like, black people are the shit. Black people do phenomenal things in this world. There wouldn't be regular history without black history, right? We can talk about all that shit. But
What do they always say about being black? Being black, it's dangerous, but it's kind of lit.
It's kind of lit.
Yeah, it's kind of
I
lit.
mean, you might have to look, 3 times before you cross the street, but it's lit as shit.
Hey,
It's dope as fuck.
lucky number 7. There you go.
But a couple things from a black community standpoint, man. We are celebrating success. So the first scientists to have successfully cured cancer by using laser activated nanoparticles. So Miss Dr. Green is the first African American woman in the nation to earn her PhD in physics, and she holds the distinction of being She holds the distinction of being only the second African American woman and the fourth African American to receive a PhD in physics from the University of Alabama in Birmingham. Our hats are off to you.
God,
Listen,
damn.
I know we've joked about this before, saying like, there's Magic Johnson had the cure for this shit a while ago. People got cures for cancer, for AIDS, for all this other shit, but this is legit in the news, and it's dope because it's coming out of the black community, man. I just feel like we do some special things, and regardless if it makes the news, if it doesn't make the news, it needs to be celebrated, it needs to be shouted out. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I always think that advances in all kinds of things, whether it be anything in STEM, essentially, science, technology, all those things. But the rumors of essentially curing cancer, and a lot of people have not been following on with it because of the monetary gains of medicine. As you all know, cancer is one of the most, sadly, it's a very popular disease, but it's also a very profitable disease.
Yep.
So the cures, the treatment,
They want to make sure they can find ways to still
So
continue.
the cure, I personally believe, for cancer has been around for a while, but they have not found out ways to monetize it once people no longer have the cancer and need to continue these very expensive, intricate treatments. I love to see things like that. That's something that gets this conversation going, that gets people in the room.
Yeah.
That gets the thing saying, hey, we can get rid of this. A lot of people, including myself, have been affected by either someone that we know personally, someone that we know nearby, family member, neighbor, coworker, something like that has been affected by cancer. God forbid if you lost someone to cancer, things like that. Mm-hmm. So being able to slowly but surely work our way to curing disease in this world that are taking people's lives, that are doing that, and we have all the resources that we can really use in honest fashion to get rid of disease as opposed to try and figure out ways to make money off the disease, I think is always dope. So, I mean, shout out to those two very smart African American women, of course, like that, taking care of business that way. So, I mean, that's always dope. And I don't care what race they were, essentially. But it's always cool when it's home team.
The race didn't matter. I just wanted to.
Yeah, but I mean, it's always cool when it's home team. Though,
yeah,
so
man, it's dope, man. It's cool. It's always good to celebrate Black History. I know we're not in February, but Black History happens 365.
Okay, McDonald's, I see.
Continuing on in the Black community, man. Other things to celebrate. Onto the sports world, the Baltimore Ravens have made history.
Okay.
As being the first team in NFL history with an all-black quarterback room. That's including quarterbacks, all three, and both the quarterback coaches. So, you want to talk about a time to be celebrated, things like that. I know we've also made comments on the show as far as the NFL. If all the black, I know we've had this conversation, if all the black people decide to up and leave the NFL, will the NFL still be profitable? The answer is actually not.
Sad problem.
Yes. But
there would be no quarterbacks. There'd be no corners.
Yeah, that's true.
Every other position would have something.
At least something. But there'd be no cornerbacks.
Actually, there might not be any safeties. Actually,
there's a couple.
There's like two or three.
There's a couple. Yeah,
there's a couple of safeties. There's no cornerbacks. There are zero cornerbacks.
This is dope because you hear about
two running backs, two safeties, basically.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
You hear about the phrase the traditional quarterback, right? And for the longest, the traditional quarterback was a white male who can sling the ball, like for real, to be honest with you. So it's dope to see the quarterback position changing over the years. I know in my lifetime, you've seen so many people take on the mantle from a black quarterback perspective. We've seen the days of the Brandon Cunningham. We've seen the days of the Mike Vicks, the Donovan McNabbs, the RG3s. I can name names for days.
Absolutely.
But it's dope to see how that position alone has restructured and rebranded itself. And now to see a position that was deemed at one point a white position to now be taken over by one team as an all-black room. I think that's dope as fuck.
Well, and also just revolutionizing the role. The athleticism, the ability to not only take a role that's generally put your 2 feet in the ground, look through your progressions, but you're being able to extend plays, you're being able to run, you're being able to, jump, you're able to throw the ball accurately and things like that, and really keep people on their toes is really cool. But the impact of that is again billion-dollar corporations, billion-dollar leagues, the NBA, the NFL. The MLB is a little bit different because instead of it being majority African Americans, it's definitely more Latino and Hispanic and things like that. But there are African American players. But it's the same deal with if the Latinos and Hispanics decide to stop playing baseball.
Right.
You would have something. It ain't the MLB.
Right.
I would say, as you can see with the World Baseball Classic and some other things, you'll have somebody playing. The same with the NFL and the NBA. So it's good to know not only the work, but essentially you see the people and the coaches getting the opportunities, getting those head coaching positions. We just had, so this being really the first week of the NFL and the second week of college football. We can talk about Deion Sanders being at a major university as a prominent black head coach, seeing success, national recognition finally. Magic Johnson becoming one of the owners of the Washington Commanders, being one of the few. I don't know if he's the only one, but he's being one of the few black faces in ownership of an NFL franchise. Because Lord knows that they're few and far and in between. We're seeing things come together. We're seeing more African Americans. Hopefully, the Rooney Rule, which essentially meant that teams had to interview a black person, essentially for a head coaching role. Most of the time they did not hire them, but essentially they had to hire a person of color, which was named after Art Rooney, because there was such a discrepancy.
Yep.
So now we're starting to see the opportunities rolling in. Hopefully the Rooney Rule can kind of cut the shit. We can actually start giving people the jobs that they deserve. When they interview the first time, not the 12th time, not after 3 Super Bowl rings and 75 years of the role.
10 resumes later.
Exactly. So there's always space for growth, but we love to see progress. We love to see these things. And of course, man, when home teams win, we root for everybody black. You see, I think Easter Race is one of the most famous lines ever. We root for everybody black. So, that's always a good vibe. It's always good things to hear. Good news. I don't care what team it is. I find it very hard for myself to root against black quarterbacks generally, even on teams I don't like. I would say, look, Lord knows I'm rooting for the Eagles and the Cowboys, but I just don't want them to fail. I just want the team to fail. That's it. Like Jalen Hurts, live your life, brother. Dak Prescott, do your thing. Cowboys, Eagles, lose every game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm sure the same thing about a black quarterback with the Commanders. He said, Jacoby Brissett, stay on the bench. Like, we love you, brother. We love you. But but Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, I go across the league. Essentially, every single person, you're rooting for them, and of course, like that. So, I just like success, man. I love success. I love happy stories. So, that's cool. I like to see wins, especially for our people, and especially in a time when wins are few and far in between sometimes.
And we gotta get them when we can get them, man. We're living in a world where it's becoming more and more acceptable for black people to be in the news for things like this, which is cool. So you kind of see in the news signs of times, but even with the progress that has been made and the progress that we continue to make on a day-to-day basis, there are always those few far in between of, let's just call it spade, be trying to knock us down a couple notches.
Sure. And hold that, because we definitely can't skip over this. Coco Gauff.
Oh, hell yeah.
Shout out sis.
Crushed the U.S. Open.
She won the U.S. Open.
Yep.
First teenager to do it since Serena Williams. Mm-hmm. We've been winning all week. There's a lot of wins out here. Definitely got to give her a shout out. We watch tennis here and there, but we root for the Americans and we root for the black Americans. So, Serena ain't in it. Venus ain't in it. There was another young lady who was in it a few years ago. I cannot remember her name right now. Please excuse me. But Coco Gauff, she's the face of the game right now. She has the endorsement. I don't know. You saw the New Balance shirt.
Yep.
It was like, don't call her Coco, call her champ.
Mm-hmm.
Fire. So congratulations to that, of course, taking out all the other opponents. So
listen, man, black people still in the news, man. We out here making magic, making wins, making moves happen. But in other news, there are certain parts in the world that still like to see, the black community knocked down a little bit. And unfortunately, conversations more and more, for reasons that are still confusing to me, are being brought up about removing or dumbing down African American studies in schools. More so in middle schools and grade schools and things like that. But I know this has been a conversation we had on the show. We talked about Florida a couple months ago. And now you turn on the news and Arkansas is in the middle of the mix, right? Arkansas is revisiting their African American Studies program as a state and trying to either redesign or try to figure out what is going on or how they can kind of re-envision the program or the conversations around their to education to their students. There's a couple things that I would love to say about this, but my political statement will be this. Ready? All right, my political statement will be this, and this is a phrase that I said a few minutes ago. There is no history without Black history. It does not exist, right? There's a lot of things that happen in this country. Well, American history.
There's no American history.
My bad. That's what I meant. That meant to be specific. There's no American history without
Scandinavia. They can.
Yeah, they say not a lot of black people in Scandinavia. So, there's no American history without Black history. Like this was built off of our ancestors, the Black community. Like we all know the stories, and there's more and more stories that come with each and every day. We've all done some type of studying in school. It is something that I firmly and truly believe that still needs to be talked about, that still needs to be studied. And honestly, this watered down shit that's in the schools these days is bullshit to me. Like, when I think about my level of education from African American history, I didn't get majority of it until after I left school. You feel me? I don't know if it was the schools I don't know if it's the schools that I went to, whatever the case may be. The bulk of the African American history that I know, I didn't get until after I left school, and we're talking about like high school, because college I went to an HBCU. We went to an HBCU, so it was just one of those situations where, you know, I think about how I was brought up in my life. Like, my parents did a good job of making sure we were aware of these things, and know of what history brought for people that look like us. But I would say to have the true feeling and understanding, actually, sometimes even experiencing some of that shit, you didn't get until you became a grown adult and you had more of an understanding behind it. So, what I will say is that I firmly believe it should not be taken out of schools. I feel like white, black, purple, yellow, red, no matter what your skin color is, you should know about it. You should hear about it. You should understand it.
Right. I agree.
I think the people that are making this noise are people that are still higher up and probably should not even be in the positions that they're in. They're the ones that are continuing to keep the government as racist as they are. Let's call it spade a spade. And they're the ones that are that look the other way when you see a black person in trouble sometimes. You feel me? Those are also the people that, if we're being honest, shouldn't really have a say. Those are the people. If you wanna talk to the community, I guarantee you talk to the majority. Let's call it the majority. You talk to the majority of people, they still are interested. They still would like to see. They still would like to hear what happened. Hear from black people. Hear to see how we came through history. Understand where they came from in history. There are people that still want to learn about it. So why take it? Why remove it from the school system? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a single thing that you missed. I think that your perspective. So, you were in PA. I did so K through 8. Majority of the K through 8 I did in another state, and then essentially I did high school here. Mm-hmm. So there's a little bit of difference in what history you learn, and there are some teachers that were more impassioned than others. You were speaking about Black history. Mm-hmm. I remember as a kid, we had the little flashcards in my house where, essentially you had, 30, 40 prominent Black figures. And yes, you had your MLK. Yes, you had your Sojourner Truth, Rosa Parks School. But there were other people. You had your Benjamin Banneker's. You had some other people that may not be talked about every single day, but essentially it was important. And it was something that you see how integral these people were in just the fabric of the country. Yes, we were brought over here as slaves. Mm-hmm. Correct. The things that we overcame to have such an impact in the country, and trying to whitewash it and trying to or yellow wash it or other things that when because the crazy part to me is the insensitivity of the founding of this country. Mm-hmm. Again, y'all, anybody who knows me, American history is my bag. We can go all day long on this, and it's interesting that when it comes to African American history and how African Americans were treated, we want to tiptoe around it. Right. We want to try and maybe it was this, maybe it was that. There was no, because there were Irish Americans that were treated incorrectly. There were Chinese Americans that were treated incorrectly. Jewish Americans, you pick a group. When they came over here, at some point there was somewhere somehow that it was kind of Japanese Americans essentially literally got reparations from how it went down in World War II. They don't try and get rid of that part, but slavery is well, the country was disagreeing on labor, and the labor was okay because it employed people, and because you want to take
it's the whitewash version.
Because of 100,000 slaves, there were 7 that were employed by a nice landowner. So now we want to be some of them had jobs, and some of them were made safe. Yes, there was 7 cases of the 6.8 million.
The 1% of slaves are the ones that they're referring to.
Right, exactly. And yes, there were Black slave owners. Right. And yes, there were times where the slaves were released before or made free. But trying to make it into something where we're gonna try and blame the Civil War on slavery not being a major cause. Anyone who studies the Civil War understands that slavery is not the only reason that it happened. But for damn sure, it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't the whole thing with that. Yes, the the North and the South being different, the way we got our money. Absolutely.
Right.
But if you think for one damn second, for the 30 to 40 years going up to the Civil War, how every single state was brought in as a free state or a slave state, there were literal documents saying you can have this land if we can make this land a safe territory. Like, we're not going to act like it's not there. We're not going to act like the governments weren't. You had politicians, presidential debates heavily talking about how are you treating African Americans in this country? What do you think about it? Because the way that you portrayed them was how people would vote.
Right.
Democratic parties and what they believed in, Republican parties, what they believed in. Your favorite president, pick one, anyone. If they were president before 1900, were asked about how they were treating African Americans, what they thought of them, and things like that. So, slavery, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, all these things, and trying to make it seem like there was some positive light. Yes, for every one positive story, one crazy spin you can get where it was like, oh no, this Uncle Ruckus wanted to work there, and he thought the white man's air was better for white men, and he went to work. Yeah, sure, buddy. Because there's a million other cases that were the polar opposite.
Right.
And just because you want to face your history, I think the first part of trying to get better, and I think the first part of trying to heal, is essentially facing it, realizing you have a problem, and apologizing or addressing it.
Yeah.
Like, the same thing if you have a falling out argument with your friend. If you sit there and have like, nah, we good, we good, and you never apologize, you never address the situation, you never look back and say, damn, this was wrong. Damn, I was tripping. And like, we're giving, as a people, I feel like as African Americans, I feel like we are very forgiving people. Because
we give people too much leeway sometimes.
Way too much leeway. Because for real, I feel like we have given the country enough time to go back and literally say, damn, dog, we were drawing. Yeah. Like, we didn't even say, we have not given a number of reparations. We have not said, oh, we're not doing anything until this happens. We have not burnt the government down. I mean, hell, y'all attacked your own government for real. We weren't there January 6th. We were not present.
Show me a black person that's in that video.
That it wasn't a skin disease. I mean, he may have had a heavy tan, but he was black.
Yeah.
He may have been mind washed. The court case is still out on some of these people. But what I'm saying is, like, we didn't even say that. The first part of what people wanted was, we just want you to acknowledge this was bad. On a national level, the same way that you addressed other horrible atrocities and, either paid people off, gave them a monument, did this, did that. We just want you to recognize that this was not okay.
Right.
And that there was financial gain,
free labor in some places.
Gooby or national gain. I don't know, maybe I said that word right, but it's fine. But basically, being able to be in the government, being able to vote, being able to own land, being able to make money, own businesses, all these things that, even though, you can say that we have some control of where we are now, we're building, we're growing. Yes, we have one of the most powerful purchasing dollars as a people. But the head start you got, we cannot continue to have states to say, well, you guys made a choice. Well, no, they didn't.
What choice?
Yeah. What they explain in that situation the choices that were made. Explain in that situation how there wasn't growth and opportunities given to other people because they were quote unquote free. Because when they had something, there weren't laws in place that allowed a group of people to literally walk in, take it, and burn it down, and no one cared.
Right.
If you did have your own farm or your own land, someone could just come over there and just be like, nah, you work for us now.
Right, I'm gonna take this shit.
It was cool. There are people who, excuse me, there are people who were pulled back into slavery that were never slaves in the first place.
Right.
Just because you're black. I'm not even going to deep dive into the racial injustice. We're not even talking about racial discrimination because that's a whole other conversation. We just want y'all to start with the basic step of slavery was a bad John, and this is what the effects of it are still felt very much to this day, and will continue to be felt until it is addressed properly and really understood on a multicultural national level. We are a melting pot of a country. Yep. It is beautiful. I love the fact that everyone has different backgrounds, everyone has different this, everyone has different that, yada, yada, yada. Cool. But the same way that we honor any atrocity or any issue or problem that happened to anybody else, has happened the same way essentially for African Americans. Because they damn sure ain't going to forget about 9/11. They are not going to stop talking about Pearl Harbor. look, pick anything else. I'm not saying that there was only one race or another race that were affected by it, but we cannot sit here and act like, oh, well, when this race was affected by something, it was more important. We have to remember it longer, or we have to do these extra things.
Yeah.
Because the effects are long. I didn't say you have to sing the "We Love Black People" song in front of every sporting event. We're not asking for that.
Right.
That's not what we're saying. I just want to be represented correctly in history and stop having people say that, oh, well,
Slavery was a choice.
Slavery wasn't that bad. Oh, it was a job opportunity for black people who didn't have jobs.
The dumbest shit ever.
Yeah, like, things that are blatantly and literally wrong for 99% of the situation that you're talking about. Talking about how Jim Crow laws were, like, skipping over the lynching, skipping over the premise of what the hate was built about. The KKK being explained as being an extension of the government, not a hate group. That was the part where I was like, all right, bro, all right, y'all just drawing now at this point. Y'all's in the way. And it's just something that until the cojones of the people and the government and overall are either it is a mass blanket, or we have people in power that force the others to see this. Because
in their
I don't care what the governor of XYZ state says, the people are like, hold on.
Yeah,
I know people that live I know people that literally live or are from every one of these states with critical race theory. And I've asked them, I've talked to them, like, how is this? And they're like, this is crazy. You heard that too, right?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, no, sure.
I don't know what the fuck that was either. Sorry, we got voices.
Yeah, no, so
I don't know if it was Siri or what the fuck it was.
Yeah, I have no idea at this point. But yeah, I just think that once we figure out a way to address that, once we figure out a way to, have that tough conversation and really find a solution, and I'm not saying it's reparations. It would be beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but I'm a real person.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone in any time soon is going to figure out a number and cut a mass check to every person in African descent.
I don't really know if there is a number that you can come to a bottom line with.
They found some numbers. They figured
That's
out
agreed upon.
They figured out in certain places and certain things, like, okay, if you lived in this area for this long due to this, we figured this number out, and the people agreed on it, and they cut it. Cool. I think they did something similar. I think they're trying to do something like that in San Francisco, of being like in a certain area of San Francisco, based on certain this, that, and the third, your descendants, we're going to cut you a check for whatever. Right. No questions asked. They've done other things close to reparation or close to trying to pay somebody back. The 40 acre the mule kind of idea that most people are supposed to have. And trust me, giving somebody 40 acres and a mule is a whole lot cheaper than the $5 billion you owe per person. So, considering I don't think anyone's going to cut everybody a check for $5 billion, hell, $5 million, hell, 500,000. Maybe 40 acres and a mule, maybe a start.
Ain't you shabby?
Maybe a start. A solid opening offer. I just think that's really it's. I mean, again, as we started the show, basically we were for everybody black, and just can't get rid of history because history is being rewritten every day, and I think that as we continue to
toss it on the rug, like all types of shit.
Right, as we continue to advance as a people, I think it's important that we hold on to our roots. Please educate yourself. Please learn. Take your time. Again. You don't have to be a history major. You don't have to know every single thing.
Right.
But if you take a little bit of time, once a week, you look up a story. Everybody's on Instagram. There's Instagram pages where somebody posts a 1 minute video about a black thing you should know every single day. I think I follow one of the pages. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But literally like, hey, fact of the day. Okay, if you got a black friend and he said, hey, black friend, tell me something about your people every day. If that's what it takes for you to learn something, go learn something. But I do think it's something that's very important. I don't want to lose that part of our history. I don't want to try and have it where we have to pass it down and it's no longer taught in school. Right. So now it's back to grandma, grandpa, mom, and dad. Right. Of trying to explain how history really was. Yes, the internet will have it, but again, who owns it?
Right.
Who's running those stories?
Right.
How often do we see websites and pages and information disappear? And then also when somebody tells a story, I would say if you control the media, you tell the story wherever you want that story to come out. Which, I mean, it sounds wild, but it happens every day. You turn on the 6 o'clock news. because they write the story based on whatever's going on.
Whoever got the power makes a narrative.
Got that right.
You know what I mean? Well, I guess before we transition to another topic, we got a listener topic.
There you go.
So, 6 wants to know. She chimes in. She says, "You both were speaking about relationships earlier.
Oh.
Would you date outside your race?
God damn.
And do you think
Okay,
if
that
you
doesn't
did,
do it.
I was like,
Where did this?
would you date outside your race? And do you think if you did, there would be issues you would face as a couple?"
Issues, absolutely. How you handle them are important. It's hard to explain to a non-black person what it's like being black. It is already hard enough explaining to an African American woman what it's like to be an African American male, and vice versa. Trust me,
it goes both ways.
I don't believe any one stripe is any better. I'm sure being a Latino man or woman is just as difficult for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Being an Asian man or a woman, I mean, hell, we gotta talk about it now. Being gay, straight, LGBTQIA plus, I include everybody. Cool, great. I think I cleared all that up.
Yep.
Being part of that community every single day, I'm sure has its own hurdles. Again, I personally don't like comparing straight. I don't like saying, "Oh, I got it the hardest." "Oh, you got it the hardest." No, I don't think that's a thing. So dating outside your race, I think as long as you guys understand your different viewpoints and how the world sees you all, and being open and understanding and having that other person's back, I think is great. Would I date outside my race? Absolutely. I've dated outside my race before. I have no problem with it. Yes, I would say I've generally dated. I've actually only dated people of color. However, black and brown people. But if it's something where you find the perfect person or whatever, that's fine. I mean, we jokingly talked about what it would take for us, to go over to the less melanated queens. However, generally, technically, my race is African Americans. I mean, if you date somebody who's not African American, that's outside your race.
Yep.
No, that does not mean everybody has to be white. No, that could be just.
I would say there are other races. It's not just black and white. Just remember, there are other races.
Right, exactly.
People.
But what I did outside my race, yeah, for sure. I don't like the cliche. I don't see color. Of course, I see color. I'm a color person. But I do not believe that. Sorry, Dr. Umar. I don't believe that you only can date one race or one people or no, like that's crazy.
Understandable. I'm very much the same way. I don't necessarily think race confirms or denies anything for me. Now, will there be some issues or some hardships that you face due to it? Yes. I think Pete did a good job of hitting the nail on the head. Like, it's very hard to describe what it is to have blackness. It's hard to describe what it is to be black. Especially if you're not. It's hard to be black, and then as you are black, it's even hard to describe it to another black person how it is to be a black man, because my black man experience is different than Pete's black man experience, and it is our black men experience is different from the black woman experience, and then vice versa. You feel me?
Right.
So, from a racial standpoint, no, I don't think it's an issue. It wouldn't be an issue for me. I just feel like you have to do a really good job with communication, right? We go back to that C word, right? Communication is at the root of all relationships. And the stronger your communication is, the more powerful your relationship is going to be. So if you are in a situation where you feel like you may face some hardships, it's about your level of communication. Like how you can talk to this person, how you can involve her in your life, and how you can get involved in their life too, right? Because just because you're a different race, that person is also a different race to you. So they're trying to figure out a way to encompass you into their life. I would say for me personally, mine comes a little bit twofold. Also, it's because I'm black and also my cultural background, right? That's also something that I have to keep in mind. Like I come from a Caribbean African household, so a lot of those cultures and beliefs are sometimes a lot stronger than what most people grew up with. So I have to understand.
Just throwing that damn season.
Listen, bro. It's one of those things that I do keep in mind. Like, I know that the person who I decide to marry, is going to eventually be around my family, and I know how my family is. I know what my family expects of me. So I know that the person who I'm going to bring around, they're going to know that, okay, I put my all and my thought into this because I know what is expected to be of my family, right? I'm not just going to pull in just anybody off the goddamn street. I'm going to put somebody who I know it can put, can rock with the cultural background that I bring. So there's a lot of things that go into that thought process, but back to the original question, no, I do not think that race holds that high of a value to a point where I'm saying, oh, well, you're Indian, I'm not gonna do that, or you're Asian, I'm not gonna, like, no, that does nothing for me. It really depends on who you are as an individual, the levels of conversation that we have, and then also back to the to the live, like, what's the vibe like? Like, are we rocking with each other? Like, can we have just a regular conversation? Like, vibe is such a,
Does the vibe
a
have
broad
rhythm?
word, right?
Does the vibe-
Nigga, that part too.
Does
Because
the
you want
vibe-
to talk about a cultural background. If I bring you around my fucking Nigerian friends and my Nigerian family, I'm not gonna lie to you. They may laugh at you. You come around talking about some fucking hokey pokey type shit. Like, I don't know. Now, granted, I'm gonna defend you, but I'm gonna let you know you're gonna get talked about.
Yo, I need my vibe to have rhythm and season. Okay, I like my food season. I like the dance. I like the rhythm. So, and the funny part is, that's not just one race or another. I think the funniest thing in the world is when people have assumptions of what you can and can't do, or will not do because of your race.
Yeah.
I keep telling people, I understand I am black. And I play basketball just well enough to still claim black. I am not Michael Jordan, Lord. I would say I understand that you assumed that. No.
Oh, so Six followed it up, and she was saying that she was asking because black men catch a lot of slack, whether in their communities, with friends, with family, for dating outside their race, outside of being black. So I guess that's why she was asking. Do you feel like if you brought I don't want to make this a black versus white thing, but do you feel like if you brought a
Black person?
Sure, non-black person, or the non-African American race person to meet mom and dad, how do you feel like they would respond?
I mean, again, I because I've done it. I mean, in like a real titled relationship. Yeah, I mean, it's been. You treat my son right, cool. You act like you got some sense. You're respectful to my parents. Respectful to my family. All right, cool. I mean, we've been in a situation where essentially, like, yeah, like we all went somewhere. We all were, where you're really in the mix. You really like, okay, take the train wheels off, go fly. Like, let's see what you can really do. And it was cool. I feel like my parents. I feel like I'm blessed with parents that are very open minded. I feel like yes, if you bring, whoever, whatever home. Essentially, it's not what it looks like; it's what it acts like, what it speaks like, what and how that situation looks to build and grow with the people involved. So I think that people are going to protect their people. They're going to protect their whatever. Look, I'm saying when you have kids one day, I would say I have one now. Essentially, if they bring home someone that is not my race, is that a big deal? I don't really think so.
All I can say is I hope you respect my son or my daughter.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's gonna matter even the fuck less when our kids are our age, because I feel like it's. If you think the world is different now, boy oh boy.
Wait another decade. Wait another.
When somebody pulls up at your house and says, "Hey, I identify as a fucking tree, but I want to date your daughter."
Just.
His name is a symbol. Like, like not like Prince. I mean, it's a
name Pie.
It's a legal. it's a legal symbol.
Like, what the fuck? The fuck is going on? I do appreciate Black love. Oh no! Don't get me wrong. Like same concept. Like the same concept we were saying. Like rooting for everybody black. Yeah. I am pro black families, pro black couples. Like I am all for it. I am just saying from a personal standpoint, I do not mind if the person who I'm vibing with and the person who gets me to that level of deep understanding that I need you to be my woman, if she's not black, that is okay, because we have set the groundwork to know that, hey, I'm your guy and you my girl, like, and we gonna make this shit rock regardless.
Yeah. But also though, just another thing though, we're talking about that guys catch a lot of flack for dating outside the race. Yes, I am a little biased because I am part of the black men community. But I also feel like we have a different. I don't even know what to explain. I want to say like a different sauce. Mm-hmm. I feel like black men are so diverse. I feel like black men have so many different like facets.
Too much sauce.
Yeah, like there's so much that we kind of bring, that we do, that we just. It's just a different part of our culture. I think our culture as a people, like yes, black men are very unique. You have every aspect from top to bottom of what we look like. But I feel like because you have that full diaspora, and I feel like as a race, I feel like we may be one of the most diverse. I feel like that's why a lot of different races, a lot of different cultures, things like that are like, yeah, like it's cool. Because because I'm gonna keep it a buck too. At the same time, there are definitely cultures and races that will not want you to bring home a black man. Will not want you to bring home a black woman. Essentially as your partner. I know a few of them. Absolutely. Yeah. It's nothing that you can do, say, fix. It is what it is, and that's a cultural thing. It's not just one household or two. Like, it's a little shaky for majority of people. But yeah, no, I personally feel like we just have a different. I don't know what it is, bro. It's like it's
black people just vibe.
It's a different thing.
Black.
But I'm saying like as black men.
Oh yeah, black men.
Because I feel like black men probably date different races, different. I feel because we kind of navigate relationships amongst different cultures, different things, like all different ways. We be around different people, different things. It's just like, look, we.
But that's also why you see like and to the point of black men taking flag. That's also why you can go. Let's take the King of Prussia Mall for instance, right? We talked about I know a lot of our listeners may not be from the tri-state area, but just to give you all an idea, the King of Prussia Mall is the largest mall in America from a retail space standpoint. So imagine like walking in a large space like that. I guarantee you will walk in that mall and see black men with all different types of races. You're going to see black men with black queens. You're going to see black men with white women. You're going to see black men with Hispanic women and Indian women and Muslim. The list goes on and on and on. But to Pete's point, like, I feel like, and I hate using the word melting pot, but I couldn't think of a better word at the moment. But like black men are more open to those fields, those opportunities, I would say, because of how much of a melting pot and we are as individuals, right? I feel like
I think it's adaptability.
That too.
I think we as a people have had to adapt so much. Like you think about it, like being brought here. Say you went from being a slave, indentured servant, this and the third. You then transition to having to still have that masculinity, having to still be there as that person at that time period. Okay, you're free. Boom. Now you're building that life as a sharecropper. Now you're building that life as whatever, as building what a man looks like in a world where they don't let black men be men. Mm-hmm. So essentially, I feel like our masculinity is even different from the stem because we spent so much time not being treated as men. We have been treated as animals. We've been treated as little children,
entertainers,
talked as boys, talked about piece of property.
Yeah.
So being seen as a man, being a manly man, and doing these things like that, I feel like we've had adapted and changed in so many different aspects and environments that I feel like that may be why. Like almost any culture you come to, anybody, like we'll figure it out. We're
gonna adapt.
We'll make it work.
Yep.
I feel like just because societally, as a people, it's ingrained. Like it's in your DNA to adapt. It's in your DNA to try and make it work and be present for people, places, and things. So I think it's pretty cool.
Listen.
So hey,
it's dope to be black.
Shout out to Black Kings.
You know what I mean? Listen, if you ain't got one yet, get yourself a black king. We dope around these parts, you know what I mean? And also, stop adding to that goddamn list of shit that we can't do. It's getting long. It's getting too long. Christ, it's getting too fucking long.
It's hard enough. I don't like men who don't blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, that's just normal day to day.
I put all 10 fingers down months ago. So here we are. Y'all still play.
I don't like men that breathe through their nose. That's feminine. Okay. Well,
my fingers been down. So
I'm not about to be a mouth breather the rest of my life. So there you go.
So on a this is the funny news of the day, partially funny, but also somewhat exciting for some people in this area, and also a sign of relief for some. So there has been a ongoing manhunt for a Mr. Danilo Cavalcante. There you go. I couldn't remember how to say the last name. I had to look at the spelling. So, this man has been...
He leads so close as
yes.
C. Mr. C.
Oh, shit. Nah, so he... we just gonna call him Danilo. So, Danilo has been on the run from the cops after committing murder.
Send your receipt.
There you go. Where and he was an escaped prisoner. There was a video going around on the internet where we would literally watch this man, Spider-Man, climb up a wall horizontally. That shit looked crazy as fuck.
Yeah, he was in between two walls
Yep.
and basically just walked himself up to the top.
Yep.
Jumped off the top of the building into like a little rough spiral over a fence and out he went.
He was gone since then. So he's been all around like the Philadelphia tri-state area. Going as far out as like Pottstown, like just kind of zipping it in between Delco and Montgomery County and shit like that. How many days? This is
14.
14. Yeah, I was like, it's like about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So 14 days, and he was finally captured actually today. Earlier, there was a bunch of news reports, the whole nine, right? Two things about this whole ordeal. Okay. Number one, I
I think
am
we get just two.
I'm
so much.
I don't know. There's a lot. I'm just gonna make 2 main points, and then we can elaborate on the rest of the shit.
I'm okay with that.
So my 2 main points. One, I breathed a sigh of relief when I saw that he was captured properly, because I'm not gonna lie to you. In the back of my mind, this is gonna be another shooting by the police on the news. Sorry, said it. It is what it is. And then 2.
What race is he again?
Oh,
he's Hispanic. Though.
yeah, he's Hispanic.
Oh, he had a 50-50 shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was like, So I can be at peace with that part. The second part, to all y'all motherfuckers, SWAT teams and police force and all that other shit that decided, let's take a photo shoot today with this man in handcuffs who was bleeding from his forehead. No, absolutely the fuck not. Like, why were we in a photo shoot? Like, and this isn't like, one at a time. This is like group photos while this man is bleeding the fuck from his forehead, cuffed behind his back with a dirty ass Eagle sweatshirt on. Like, for what? For what absolute fucking reason?
Because you may feel like you're part of history. I mean, also, all right, so to the small credit of Sensi, so shout out to people that spent 24 hours a day on radars, walking dogs, doing this, doing that, trying to hunt this person down.
I also feel like if the wrong person found him, this shit could have went left.
Oh, 1,000%. But I feel like maybe some of those people were on that task force and was like, look, we're going to take a picture of us getting this capture. We're going to take a picture of this moment because it's a big deal. But, I never understood we capture criminal A, and now we're going to sit this man here like a photo booth and take all the pictures and snap it for the gram and pose and Like, I can only imagine if they didn't terminate Osama bin Laden the way they did, what pictures would have popped up from wherever that was with Osama bin Laden when they found him.
Cats would have lost their fucking minds.
Right. You don't know, IG Live.
Yeah. Like, we'd have got reports from IG Live before we got anything from fucking CNN. Like, Osama bin, like, yo, look at Osama, bro. Like, the fuck's going on?
Yo, could you imagine that?
Should
like,
be.
is this real?
like, what the fuck am I watching?
Man, we're giving Osama bin Laden a noogie over
Like,
here.
the fuck?
We got him, bro. We got him. Like, I never understood that part. But again, there are a lot of people that worked very hard to go find him. It was a scary time, essentially, with him. I think supposedly at one time he stole a truck. He stole a gun. He was breaking into people's houses.
He was out. Snatching clothes off your line. Like, he was out.
Can we talk about the people that there's always people that dry their clothes on a line when someone's
on the run?
It's like it never fails.
Oh, and I always thought it was a movie thing until I see the shit constantly.
And then every day they're like, they interview somebody. They're like, I was drying my clothes.
I never understood that many people still
and
dry their
my
clothes.
hoodie was missing. I'm like, why?
We got dryers, people.
Not even that. Just put that shit in the back of a chair in your house. Like, what the fuck?
Like who the fuck's the line dries? Like, you want, like, I just think about this, right? I think about my car. The moment I get my car washed, every fucking bird in America wants to come to my shit. So why the fuck would I put clean clothes on the fucking line? Because I feel like inadvertently all the fucking birds want to come to my shit.
Well, that was the part I always wondered. And then I always thought, like, let's say you did a whole day of wash, right?
Yeah.
All this washing you did.
Mad as shit.
You put online. And and it fucking rains.
Mad as fuck.
What's the next step?
You
What
just wasted
what can
You just wasted
happen?
all that.
Yeah. I said, why is there not a drying rack in your house? Like, you could get like the little ones you fold up and you put like 7 shirts.
They sell them on Target, y'all. On Amazon.
Right. And I'm just so confused right now. Anyway, but that's not really what we're talking about.
Yeah. So.
But why is always someone drying their clothes up there? Like, someone always has like some ridiculous gun rack in their garage that's unlocked. Like, when these people get out and they're like, okay, this person's on the run in your area, do this, do that.
Why would y'all not secure y'all shit?
I'm like, I don't understand this. Like, you have people's ring doorbells that go on. All right, cool. Then somebody's security went off. Like, so like the bell, whatever.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
Someone's like, oh yeah, we saw that he was at, near this road or left this, left that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We appreciate that. Whose goofy ass left all their clothes outside? Or like the guy whose rifle, he was like, yeah, he tried to shoot at him, but he already saw that he stole his rifle and ran off. Why does your garage have all these guns in it, sir? Like, you have to know that when somebody's out, they're going to do anything they possibly can to get any resources that they can.
Stay away.
And on top of that, they have to keep moving. It's not like they're going to sit there for 4 days and pitch a tent and build a campfire. Hell no. You got to keep that shit
find
moving.
the next location.
Through rain, through all this shit. Like, when it was, pouring a couple days ago, they were like, yeah. Like, they found, like, old clothes and things like that, but he, like, wasn't injured.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Boy did a whole, like, wardrobe change. Like, he changed his hairstyle. He changed, like...
You have to.
You definitely have to. Like, to be on the go and on the run for 14 days, okay.
But then they said that they were trying to see if his sister had helped him out, and they were trying to see if they're going to charge anybody who tried to help him, which they don't believe they will.
They said, I think I heard, and if you heard any follow-up, then let me know. The bull who was keeping watch in the yard got in trouble.
Keep watching the yard for what?
Like, while he was climbing up the fucking wall, like in the video, there's a bull on the other side of the wall, keep a watch, make sure no guards was coming around. They said he got in trouble.
Well, yeah, you're an accessory to whatever the fuck.
Escapism
or some shit. Yeah, you were an accessory to a magic trick. I don't know, to Houdini.
Magic
trick. I don't know what the law's called. I haven't got that season of Suits yet. They didn't tell us what that law's called and the lawyer stuff. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a great situation, but it's just always the people. Like we've talked about this before. I was in Maryland when the DC sniper thing was happening. Mm-hmm. There was someone who was actually killed 10 minutes from my house at a gas station that my parents used all the time.
Okay.
That was terrifying.
Yeah.
So I understand, like, being terrified of someone being out there, a criminal, being in the area, like, not knowing what's going to happen next, not knowing what's going to pop up. But, like, there were certain provisions that they told you to do, like, don't go out there unless you need to. Stay the fuck home.
Nobody pays attention to that shit.
Bring your stuff inside. Like, don't leave your car unlocked. If you're getting gas, like, get what you need. Do not stay in there and fill your whole tank up. Like, get your little pump and beat it. Like, $10 a roll. Now, $10 25 years ago was a decent amount of gas. It was cool. But, and I just feel like sometimes it's like, oh, damn, there's somebody out there? That's crazy. Like, no, I didn't feel like it was necessary for me to sit there and sit out with guard with my BB gun ready to go. But at the same time, like, if I live in heavily dense wood areas, if I'm near a prison, which is another reason why I'll never buy something near a prison, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, all that extra shit, like...
You got 30 prisoners broke out. God.
And meanwhile, you in the kitchen making the fucking snack, and then you see fucking 20 of them going in your backyard. Like, nigga, what?
Yeah.
Got time for none of that.
Right, you leaving out milk and cookies and shit for these niggas running through your damn backyard so they don't blow your head off. Like, I don't have time for this. But I always think, like, the awareness part. But, I mean, yes, it is a sigh of relief that this person was captured. He was originally arrested for brutally stabbing his girlfriend in front of their kid, which oh my God, I can't imagine that. But he's also wanted for, like, killing somebody like Brazil or some shit.
Yeah, he's running for murder.
Yeah, so yes, this was somebody who needed to be captured. Yes, we'll kill people. Yes, we'll hurt people and things like that. But I just always think it's like this super weird way. And then it's funny because they surrounded him. He had no idea he was surrounded. And I guess, like, they sicked a dog on him, so, like, the dog bit him. And then, of course, in the news story, they were like, yeah, he had a minor bite wound, and we did look into that. They were like...
The whole gash on his
face.
Bitch
ass up. Right. Like, they go in the jail, right? Like, whatever it was to be.
Get the hell out of here.
And when they surround him, like, they got him. That's what he didn't know. and I guess like he was still trying to like fight it off, or I guess labor was still.
He found under like a stack of like wood or some shit like that.
Yeah,
like,
but they said like they were using like heat signature like search things. So I guess like they could fly over an area and just pick up heat signatures. So I'm like, aren't there animals outside? But I guess like a certain size, certain heat. I don't fucking know. But it was just, I'm just like, it was only a matter of time.
Yeah.
I'm like, if they're using heat signatures and they're looking for you 24 hours a day, you're by yourself. Like,
he also did.
Like you have to
didn't
think.
Go too far either, and he also went to the same place twice. So from a he wasn't not the most smarts, you know.
Well, I don't know what you're supposed to do, but say because I mean you're on foot or whatever it must be. It's like there's only so far you can go in a day, and they're driving around and looking. So it's kind of like you kind of feel like you're kind of stuck in this wooded area.
Yeah.
You're just trying to like wait it out. But clearly they're not going to give up, especially if you're like a higher profile person.
Right.
So I don't know what you're supposed to do unless you hitchhike somewhere and be like, "Yo, just drive as far as you possibly can from here." And then I don't know if they ever
I
gonna
got a
find
couple
your ass.
dollars for you. I mean, just get.
But then again, I'm like, damn, like I don't know if they ever gonna find your ass if they were looking in the wooded area. And
Like,
like,
you get the right person to take you across state lines. Like at that point, what you do now? Because what if let him have left PA as a whole? This man would have looked completely different than what he got us with.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you get on the back of a chicken truck, you know, the big ass trucks with all the chickens in it. Get in the back of that, smells like hell. Ride it for 4 or 5 hours.
Right. You don't
Wake
even know
up.
where the fuck it's going. You just there.
Yeah.
Wake
Cut
the
your
fuck up.
hair, change your clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a wrap for that. I'm saying until you legally go find a job. Like now you gonna probably try to be somebody's helping hand somewhere, cash under the table. They ain't never gonna find your ass. So. But yeah, so I'm glad you got caught though.
Yeah, and peacefully too. I'll stress that because I'm not gonna lie, I thought the worst case scenario. So, so they say that the some of the best things in life are free, right? And you heard that saying before.
Never
a
heard
couple
that
rap
before.
songs now. No, okay, cool. So what
Can't
if what if someone offered you as much wine as you could possibly drink for free? Would you take it? There's no stipulation, just scared.
Just a wine I
Just
actually like.
Wine. Yeah,
I'm not a big wine guy. Like I like wine, but like I don't know a lot about it. So I'd
Okay.
be like, oh, let me get that 1980. But it has hints of. Stop it. Oh, so funny story. So we were talking about this summer what we did. I would say a side mission. So I went out to the West Coast and I went to a winery, and this guy did a phenomenal job. By the way, I mean top notch. You know, you order like flights.
Mhm.
You know, they kind of tell you like different,
What's what?
different this, and different
Mhm.
that, and how many grapes, and if they squeeze it with their left hand or the right hand,
Okay.
and
It's a different
and what side of
process.
the glass you're supposed to drink out of, all this
Okay.
great stuff. So this guy's explaining it. He's doing again, stellar job. I start laughing, and not because I don't respect what he's saying.
Also, you're just very confused.
It was because I was so lost as to how he knew these things.
Was he a sommelier?
Sure. I don't know. But I mean, but he worked at this place, and like he was like, this is a 2021 this, and this grape comes from here, and it does this, and it has a note of that, and this, that, and the third. And it's like, it's dry, or this, or it's... And you take a sip, and I'm like, nah. And let's put the glass down. And like, not like literally like, nah, like that way, but like, you explain this thing, and like, you're thinking like this masterpiece of, like, imagine if somebody explained a piece of art. And in your brain, you saw the Mona Lisa,
Yeah.
but it was really a 2-year-old that drew a smiley face on a fucking
On a stick
napkin
figure.
in a McDonald's. Like that was literally like the response in my brain. Like just couldn't process it. It was funny because there was like 6 or 7 of these. By the time it gets like to the 4th one, there are so many words, so many descriptors. This vineyard, that vineyard, this season, that season,
Mhm.
and I have such a high respect for people who really understand it. And can't sit there and taste a wine and say this is a 1987 as opposed to 1988. Dude, you could have released a wine 2 weeks ago or 2,000 years ago. I promise you, I can't pick the year. I guarantee. Like it's just not something I don't know the notes of whatever. Like it tastes like fruit, buddy. You know why? Because there's grapes in it. I
Because there's grapes.
this one's sweet. This one's dry. This one, I don't know. Not really feeling this one. Whatever the last part of it. Not a big fan of that. Can we stop it before there? No, can't do that because it's wine. Okay, great. Yeah, like so it's funny because you were talking about like with that, but I feel like someone would be like, oh my god, a free thing of wine. Why would we get this one?
It's
And
great.
I would get that one. Nowadays I'd be like, Y'all got that sangria.
I got that sangria.
Y'all got that $6. What's that damn joint with the kangaroo in the front?
Oh yeah,
like
little
my,
barefoot.
Yeah, like my wine verbiage and not is so trash. But you said there's free wine. So I mean it can't hurt to try it. So
Right.
so what do we gotta do for some free wine?
So there's nothing you have to do. I mean, if you want to, if you were probably supposed to be in Lavera, Portugal, probably about 6 days ago.
So a
But
little late to the party.
yeah, a little late.
There's still flights available.
There are. I don't know if there's any more wine left, but you can go check it out. There was about 2.2 million liters worth of wine that flowed the streets of Lavera. So there are 2 large canisters that crashed and I guess bursted. And as I'm watching this video, the shit looks like it's just gone. The town is underwater almost, like they're going through flooding. Now the town sits on a hill, so I guess if you're sitting at the top, all that shit's kind of rushing down. But if you want some free wine,
So somebody's super fired right now.
somebody's super fried, and also someone was also probably super lit. So, yeah.
But 2.2 million liters, dude, that's a lot of money, bro.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine someone else on the side of the road with a straw just?
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? At first you go, if you just had a straw in a river of wine, you're like, that's kind of gross, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you took a glass and
Yeah.
filled it, what's the difference?
It's the same shit.
So, I mean, is it weird if you had this straw and like, that's gross? Meanwhile, I'm over here with a glass like, it's all full now. Right, exactly. Like, it's like, I don't drink out the hose. I put the hose water in a cup and drink. Like, it's still hose water. Okay.
But
No.
you're fancier now.
Put my pinky away.
There you go.
Hose water.
No one uses a pinky with a straw, but you can use a pinky with a glass. Nah, that shit looks kind of like not dope. It looks
insane.
Like it looks
It kinda
crazy as shit. Like I imagine this is why I brought up the flooding thing. Like because we've gone through a lot of rain recently. I imagine seeing some of our back roads just flooding and. You know the roads where you go in 60, you immediately got to go 15 miles an hour because you ain't trying to hydroplane
Can't
type
see,
shit.
right? Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, you can't see.
Right, and I see some shit like this, and I'm envisioning like, damn, imagine if it was just fucking raining wine here or some shit. Like, first of all, niggas lose their mind.
Well,
Like,
in case
let you throw like a little TP on the fucking road.
Well, in
Niggas
case
lose
you
their
guys
shit.
weren't aware, we are still in our very much final days
Right.
before Jesus comes back.
It's on its way.
If it started raining
The
wine,
rapture is coming.
if it started raining wine, at this point, would you really be surprised?
No, I'm not surprised at half the shit that I see on the news.
And there you go. And there you have it.
No.
Now, I'm gonna say I think it's important that you go into your final days on Earth as healthy as you can be. But do you feel like you're in tip-top shape?
Do I feel like I'm in tip-top shape?
Do
No.
you feel like you're in the best shape of your life?
Right now, no. I feel like I was probably the best shape of my life maybe about, maybe like 2 years ago. Not to say that I'm like,
Exaggerating.
yeah, I'm not
Same.
terribly, no. But I would say about 2 years, like 2 years ago, I just think about how I was. Like, I was physically, like, on...
Imposing?
I was physically imposing my will on, like, fucking weights and all, like, the shit that I was, like... No.
I was
Yeah, I don't know.
shut it down.
That's all.
I'm straight to suggestion. So whoa. So what do you watch?
What you watching?
It's like,
but I would say 2 years ago.
we asked for
like,
permission on everything. All right, ain't no opposing shit.
I would say 2 years ago, I would actively like pay attention to like like watching what I ate, like
Sure.
actually counting. Some they say like that super health nuts go macros and micros. Like I wouldn't get that deep, but I would actually like weigh my food to keep myself on pace for the day. So I'll make sure like my 3 meals, and I would sanction them off, and I would just have them in the fucking fridge, and I was kind of grab and go type shit. I was always on my protein shake. I was doing everything additional to help me be at my peak form. Why I needed to be that way? Who fucking knows? I don't know. But it felt great. It was cool. And this is always I'm glad. It's funny that you brought this up because I was literally reading an article where Zac Efron was asked, because everybody knows Zac Efron is known for having the beach body and all of the shit, right? And they asked him how does he maintain that? And he literally looked the camera in the eye as he responded. He was like, "Listen, this shit looks cool, but outside of movies, I would never do this shit again." He's like, "It's too much to keep up and it's too much to maintain because you're constantly like oh, I gotta do this. I gotta like, especially if you're calculating like your BMI and all that other shit. Like,
Oh,
it gets fucking tedious.
Well,
So it's just like,
yeah, I mean, or you have friends that compete in like weightlifting competitions,
Exactly.
things like that, like
It's
that
just-
body
it's a
fat,
lot.
how you lift, what you
Mhm.
lift, when you run, what you
Yep.
eat, when you eat, how you can eat. Yeah, no,
can't eat
it's
before a certain time, can't eat after a certain
yeah,
time. Like,
it's a whole process.
yeah.
And I mean, I commend those people. Like, I think the one, and I've always said this joke. I said the one thing that keeps me from 12 abs is pizza. I ain't giving up French fries.
Yeah.
You know, I've made the choice. I am okay with a flat stomach, couple abs here and there. I don't want 12. Why? Because I know that to get 12, I have to do a lot of things I refuse to do. I have no interest in doing it. That just point blank. I didn't say I don't understand it. I didn't say I cannot.
Yeah.
I said I refuse.
Right.
I said the way this margarita pizza with pepperoni on it calls my name on a Friday afternoon. We ain't not going.
Right.
Best $6 you can spend. You know what I mean? So we were talking about the beginning of the NFL season.
Yeah.
You know, you have MLB, NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Every year you have the best athletes on the planet in the top shape of their life, diet, workouts, training, this, that, and third.
Mhm.
But somehow, some way, the sad part is of this, we always have people who get injured. So this week, Aaron Rodgers, who was the quarterback who came to the Jets, everyone thought they were gonna ride his wave.
Man,
The
everybody
Super
was hype on
Bowl- This
him,
man literally played like 3 snaps, tore his Achilles, out for the
Out for the
season.
season.
Good health. I mean, people talk about like, you know, the psychedelic drug use, things like that, but essentially these athletes, peak pillar, you know, top of their shape, top of the line, best trainers,
Yep.
best dietitians, this, that, and the third. J.K. Dobbins, sadly tore, I think, his Achilles. He's a running back for the Ravens. You know, coming back off injuries, things like that.
There's a couple people, man.
There's I think it's called like Late Night Session. I can't remember what it is, but it's with Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco, or Chad. I think his name's back Chad Johnson now. And Chad Johnson was talking about how the reason people are being injured so much now is because they eat too much green stuff, and he said they're too healthy. And you got it. You got to do this.
You gotta get some bad shit.
And if you know Chad Johnson used to be a wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Mhm.
But he literally has been quoted as saying he would give up sex before he would give up McDonald's. He is an advocate for McDonald's. And look, I ain't gonna hold you, I ain't far behind him. I don't eat it every day. I would say I can't say I necessarily eat it every week. But look, a good quarter pound with cheese with a fresh, crispy fry, and a nice little drink. Look, I love me some McDonald's. Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
I ain't mad at it.
Right. So he was saying that as a dietitian, he was like, when I was training, like I would eat pretty good, but he's like, oh, I wasn't giving up McDonald's. Oh, we were still eating. What was it? DK Metcalf was talking about how he ate a bag of candy a day,
Yeah.
and we eat like one good meal. We eat like, you know, fish and green beans.
Yeah.
So he was basically just talking about how beforehand there were less injuries and, like, you know, in careers and like that with these people who have every science you can think of, every single training you can think of, everything you can do. He's like, why are you getting injured? And Shannon Sharp was like, all right, we don't condone saying you're supposed to eat. He was like, nah, you gotta eat some fatty foods.
Right.
You gotta eat some real food.
You gotta have a well-rounded diet.
And I always kind of wondered that. And I was like, you know, I always feel like the older I got, I'm not saying the people who didn't have injuries when we were in the 90s and early 2000s, but I always kind of feel like there's more people getting injured in sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's maybe because of the way they train. I don't know if it's because like you're at the peak pillar form and there's that, the margin of error for your body is so much smaller because you have that peak performance. Maybe people stopped before they got to that peak, but because you got to that peak, it's easier to fall off that peak. But it was always something that was kind of funny to me. Like, I feel like I'm in pretty decent shape.
Yeah.
But I've always said, like, you know, you try and do things in moderation, but I would never say, oh yeah, I'm just gonna give up something completely. Like, I'm not. Like I told you, my muscles are for aesthetics. I don't give a flying shit how much someone else can lift over me, as long as I look good in the mirror. We take a picture with we take a picture in the beach. I am not the worst one looking in the beach ever in my life. That is my goal when I go to the gym. I mean, of course, you want to feel good. You want to be strong.
Right,
you know, I joke a little
right.
bit. I'm also, you know, I'm big in my back again. You know, trying to get swole again. But it's funny because people always wonder, like, oh, well, if you have this diet and that, you know, your cup of rice, you half an idea of a chicken breast,
Half an idea,
and, you know, and 7 peas, and you eat half a banana, and you get your shake, and and then you tear every muscle in your damn body. Meanwhile,
does nothing for you.
Meanwhile, homeboy over here, who's not at 3% body fat, is at, I don't know, a healthy 12 to 13, 14% body fat. But, you know, he eats his french fries, he eats pizza, but, you know, he works out 4 or 5 times a week, you know, does a little running, does a little this, does that. Looks cool in the pictures. You know, what's wrong with that idea? Is that not taking care of your body, is not healing, not doing this, not doing that? Even people like you think of that spend literally $1 million a year in their body, like LeBron. There's other
a lot of
high tier
athletes
that do everything, have access to everything. In a sense, he still kind of suffer from injuries, but they ridicule like the crazy diet, or the people who have or the people who have cooks that I don't know what they be eating, because I'm like, they don't look like they got a special diet at all. But they got people that cook every damn meal. So I always think it's just kind of interesting, essentially, people's idea of health. Would you be quote unquote more healthy, take more risks if it puts you at a higher risk for injury? Or would you just kind of live the life that you're leading, knowing that you never really suffered an injury, never really suffered a problem or setback, short of, you know, just regular aging, regular day-to-day use?
I think I've already answered that question. Like, I'm fine where I'm at. Like, I think there's just more that goes into living that lifestyle consistently that a lot of people don't take into account. Yeah. And the small time frame that I did it, and I wasn't even doing it to the level of some of these fucking athletes, right? But to the small level that I did it, and you see how tedious this shit is. You see all that shit, and it's like, this is a lot. Like, I'm completely fine with, you know, eating what I eat, and you know, I don't eat bad. Like, I have a pretty decent diet, but I do appreciate being able to go to the gym about 4 or 5 times a week, sometimes 6 if I feel lucky. And I've been trying to maintain where I'm at, and I like my aesthetic. I like, you know, there's going to be some things that you want to work on here and there, and things like that. You want to bulk up in certain places, or cut a little this, cut a little, whatever that looks like for you. But I'm happy where I'm at. Like, that 2 years, granted, looked phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, pictures were just popping. But it was all the extra work that went into it. That was the headache part. And that's the part that people don't talk about.
Oh, it's always funny for me. I don't ever have to do any of that stuff. I just need to be in a state of turmoil mentally, and I'm perfectly fine. So, yeah, I think my goal, maybe I'll hit this by 50, is I want my body and my brain to be in a great place at the same time. Generally, like, when I'm, like, all over the place, like, my thoughts, I got a lot going on in life, I am cut. Like, I am built. Like, I look good. Like, then when I'm, like, happy, stop doing me. Push-ups. all of a sudden, them 30-pound dumbbells feel like 80-pound dumbbells.
Listen, to my future wife, if you're watching the show, we gonna work out together, and you gonna keep me in the gym, and I'm gonna keep your ass in the gym too. Okay.
Or at least doing something about physical fitness.
We gonna work out together.
Nah, I mean, no. I mean, so for example, I've had conversations where it was like, yeah, she may not go to the gym, but y'all take a walk. I think, like, or like, maybe you go on a walk, you go on a run. Maybe you do yoga together. Maybe things like that. I think that's kind of like a fire thing. And somebody asked me a lot about things like, what was something you want from your wife, or like your you know. I would hope a wife, but if not, like, you know, your partner, in a sense, like, you know, a long-standing legal girlfriend. I think you'd always want to be able to share different aspects of your life, top to bottom. I think you would be able to relate. Now, yes, you're going to have your things, and she's going to have her things.
Of course.
You know, you're going to have your space, you're going to have your time. But I always think that I would never want to have something that you really felt you were completely excluded from. Like you had the complete incapability of doing this with me if you wanted to. And or the fact that you feel like I would exclude you from wanting to join me in blah, 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 blah. I don't care if it's underwater basket weaving, weightlifting, cooking, whatever. Look, you want to be a damn acrobat in the damn Universal Circus. Let's go do it together. Sign up. We can share makeup. Let's go ahead. We'll go be clowns together. But I mean, I think this is always the inclusion part. But I mean, yes, there will be cool, like your happy weight things like that, but also like you can have your happy workouts. You can have your happy. All right, cool. We ate like pigs this weekend. Cool. Sunday night, let's go take a walk.
Let's go. I mean,
yeah, you know what I mean. Like you can't walk on 4 days and shit.
My parents were good for the mall walks. Like we go out on a Friday night. We would walk the fucking mall afterwards.
Well, first of all, you had me at mall, so
my parents is good.
If my wife don't like malls, we gonna be in trouble because my bad. I don't even gotta buy enough. I just like the ambiance. I just like, you know, and if I'm in, and I want to be in a major metropolitan area, of course. I love my pavement. Yep. We are, you know, so We can walk 45 blocks and come back. It ain't nothing to me. Talking about life, looking at the stars, chilling,
Yes.
living the dream. Or people watching. People watching is my favorite sport. So, I mean, that's for sure. But yeah, it's But Chad Johnson, I follow him on Twitter. Follow him on Instagram. I think he's hilarious. He's one of my favorite athletes. When he was an athlete.
Still fucking phenomenal.
Career, didn't have a very many injuries, if any at all. But he would talk about, yeah, man, but he was also somebody who was like, yeah, I bought fake diamonds.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
My gold chains were very much entry level. They were plated. They didn't have to be because I saved my money and I did this and I did that. I think he's a very honest person, but a solid athlete, a solid human being, and more importantly, someone that you can deal with. I mean, yeah, he did some knucklehead stuff during his career.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, he's a pretty cool guy. But his interviews are pretty funny.
A1.
He was like, "Look, man, come get with me. He's like, you gotta get some fries. You gotta get some McDonald's." He's like, "Look, I will give a sex before I give a McDonald's." I started cracking up. I was like, "This man is something else." So.
Oh shit. Tap 6 wants to know how are we both still single.
It's in the Lord's hands. That question.
Let go and let God. Let go and let God. I'm at that point right now, right? So.
Because I'm still buying my own 2K. That's why.
I feel like we got one more story in this. So
what you got?
I can't really say what I was going to say because I know I was about to tell Boldface lie. So, the celebrity world is one of their favorite couples. And when I say one of their favorite couples, that's just because of all the nonsense.
Yeah, that's y'all shit. Yeah. You know I don't follow celebrity couples
Well,
like that.
you all means you all. I don't pay attention to this shit. I only seen this shit pop up because I was like, what the fuck? But Blueface and Krishan, that's who we were talking about. So Krishan.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. Krishan
hell no.
was recently in the news. We talked about it last week for essentially IG living her baby delivery. Yeah. We talked about how we felt about it. We talked about
childbirth.
Yeah, we talked about all that. But, Krishan took it one step further. And by further, I mean she is already booking or already accepting bookings for her child. There is a brand new Instagram page that has popped up with all booking information, including a Gmail account. And at one point, I did see a Cash App, but when I went to the page, I didn't see it. Yeah. When I went to the page, I did not see it on there.
For the kid or her?
Dude, I don't know. So, but it was, Blueface took to Twitter. He was not the biggest fan of this. Just to read you a couple of his tweets.
He's a stand-up guy, so.
Oh yeah, just read a couple of his tweets to let you know how he feels. Baby got an Instagram with a booking email in the bio at 2 days old. He's taking bookings already. This lady had a baby for clout. It's a damn shame. Next tweet. When my son turns 10, and I explained to him why his name is Krishan Jr. Like, yeah, son, my bad. I had a baby with a clout chaser, so she gave you her name for more bookings. My fault. Oh, this one's hilarious. I ain't even gonna lie. I was cracking the fuck up at this one. Where the fuck was it? Oh, what's the baby's booking rate? I'll pay it, but he got to come meet his family. Since she doesn't want me to see my son. Oh, come out. I guess I got to book for a show. So,
okay.
Blueface baby might be making the books to see his son soon. But all that being said, like, I understand. And
wait, it's his son, right?
Yeah, it's the son.
They tested.
Sure. According to their,
I thought he was swearing up and down it wasn't his. So
according to their world, this is his son. So, I say that all being said, like, I do get it. I understand that we live a different lifestyle than celebrities do. But there are humane things in this life that we all share collectively, no matter how much money you make. I would think that people thought it was in poor taste to IG live childbirth. Clearly I'm wrong. I also thought that, a 2-day-old baby wouldn't have booking information or an IG account.
I know the baby was going to walk through the club.
Clearly I was wrong, right? This baby got an IG before he can walk. So,
he was going to crawl through the club.
He pulling up. He pulling up. He on the next track.
Bassinet throws.
You know. So, I hate
Feel
that.
like a man when I crawl through. Feels like a man when I crawl through. You know what I mean?
I found the tweet funny, but I hate the fact that Blueface got to go, regardless of his son or not. I feel like that kind of sucks that he has to go through this. Now he made light of the matter, like, if I got to see my son, I'm gonna book him and shit like that. But why does that have to come to that point? Like, it should never even be there. I don't know. I just think that certain things are meant for social media, and other things are meant for behind the closed doors. And a lot of the stuff that
90% of the internet is never meant for it to be on the internet.
a lot of the life that we have been exposed to. That's the best word I can say. Exposed to of Krishan and Blueface. We have seen a lot more than sometimes we see from our own families. Let's be real. So
I wish you were wrong.
I don't know. I just don't get it. Like, is it about the clout? Is it just she just doesn't give a
What
fuck?
part did you get? The booking and all that stuff information?
I guess we're good. Where's this collab?
Having the baby?
This is the having the baby part. It is what it is.
Well,
I know why you have a baby.
Why?
You have a baby because somebody either forgot to pull out or somebody just busted. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But
Wait, there's no store?
so
What?
But what I will say is that there are certain things that should remain in the private of your own home. And I feel like
Childbirth would be the number one thing.
yeah, childbirth and also my 2-day-old baby.
I
off of
would
Instagram.
say that a lot of their stuff has been very public, very toxic, very all over the place. And I feel like because of that, they may have felt like, well, this ain't nothing. I've shown worse. I've done this, I've done that.
She said bookings for it. The thing is, they didn't specify what the bookings for. It literally just says for bookings, contact, and then here's the Gmail account. So I don't know if this 2-day-old baby was showing up in the club and trying to hop on the wheels of steel. I know if he was going. I know what the fuck was about to happen. But if you want to book him, his information's on the IG page. You turn around the club and fucking little DJ Nugget is on the fucking 1s and 2s. Who the fuck is that? Little ass baby in the
Alright,
skull.
I'm not gonna lie. I did see like a Britain's Got Talent one time of like this little kid. He was like 3 years old. He was supposed to be DJing, and I don't know how he did it. To me, it just still looked fixed, and it pissed me off. Because this kid would just like look up, and it's not like he was like reading the crowd really. He would just kind of like switch the song to something else and kind of mix it a little bit.
Yeah.
It was cool. But I'm like, if someone like if you were really reading the crowd, like I don't know, it was very scammy to me. I don't know. And if I walk into a club and there's a 3-year-old on the wheel, I would be livid. Not gonna lie.
Would you stay? What if he was killing shit though? Like, what if it was like
If you're, like,
what if it was like a
legitimately
fire
killing?
set, but it's a fire.
I'd be like, is this like recorded? Like you're really blending samples and like running the songs with each other and like is this real life? Like,
That's funny as shit.
It's just like
like the next time
mix it.
you like walk in like what's a club Philly called? Aurora. You walk in Aurora and there's a fucking 5-year-old behind the DJ booth.
just ripping away.
That shit.
I mean, I'm not hating on. I'm just not staying there because I'll probably be pissed. I'll be like, where did I go wrong in life? Yeah. So
That I don't know, dude. It's
to wrap up their life, dude. To me, like no offense to either one. They're great people, but I do not care about any more of the relationship. There's nothing. My brain does not grow; it shrinks every time they post something.
I feel like I lose an IQ.
Yeah,
So.
and I'm just like, at the end of the day, like I hope that baby is healthy and happy and grows
And
into
gets love.
Right, it grows into a productive atmosphere. We don't need any more atmospheres that do not produce love, affection, attention, support, like all these things. And there's always time to grow and there's always time to get better, but I hope it works out. And that's it. Because if they just reality show or something, I do not care. So I have no idea.
Somebody in the comment section said all the celebrity baby moms and whatnot should just have all their kids on their own celebrity show. I said, what? That's a terrible idea.
I think they already do that.
No, for just the kids. Like, not parents, but that's a terrible idea. Yeah, just no. Just
That's what
absolutely
made
not.
a bad idea worse.
Hey, I'm speaking to you, future wife. If you listen to this episode when you spin this back, we are not putting our child on social media like that. No, not doing it. We're not giving our child
Ever?
booking information. No, I'm talking about like the way they no. I'm not fucking parading around. Here's my fucking child. Book my son.
But what if
For
you
what?
have, like, the golden child?
At 2 years old.
Doesn't take long to figure out his golden.
Unless my child is like the second coming of Michael Jackson. For what?
Mike started at 6. I don't know if you watched the documentary or not.
Oh, I watched it, nigga.
Mike was...
But this is why I said you have to be like that for me to even be like, all right, tell me what you got going on. Like, now granted, I got one for you because you have a daughter. And I also know your daughter. Your daughter's very big on TikTok. What if she came to you one day and said, Daddy, I want to be an influencer, and started making some fire-ass TikTok videos? What do you do in that scenario? But I'm talking about these are like, you've seen them with your own eyes. You're like,
Yeah.
these are kind of fire. These are kind of dope.
This is great. And I'm going to start sounding like your parents. I'm going to be like, now influence your studies. Influence these books. Influence your grades. Influence these applications. Influence the college student, etc. Influence the scholarship.
Influence some SAT scores.
Right. Influence a career.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. What we watching, what we listen to, brother? What do you got? We talked a lot of
Go
music last
influence
week.
your school.
That's
Influence
it.
your teacher.
Recommendation is education.
Yo, now those be like my favorite videos.
Not the accent, though.
Yo. First of all, when somebody get laid out by somebody's like West African parents.
Oh, that should be the crazy, because the
I'll
accent
be
be
screaming.
thick as fuck too when the
Yo.
shit come out.
Yo, because when you hear that, because I remember like my parents, like me saying something to them, and my dad would use the word that you use and spin it that way. But I mean, again, it's not appropriation to people.
Yeah.
There is something about like that Caribbean or that West African accent
the
that
accent,
makes that
bro.
shit. It's not funny.
No.
When they're
But
saying it to
it's-
you,
it's like
when
one
you
shit.
watch it,
Yeah.
that shit is hysterical. You're like, what? Influence your grades. And then, and the list just keeps going and going and going. Yo, and I'll be crying, dog. I'm saying, I've had friends who say, I'm saying, your dad's been on a few rants.
Yeah.
Hell, I've called a few of them jokes. But nah, like, I've seen them shits in real life with other friends. I'm talking about, and they went in.
Yeah.
They was in a bag. Like, I was like, yo, just drop it, bro.
Just
Yo, whatever you thought you was about to do, bro.
Yes.
Just go read the book, bro.
Yes.
Just go ahead and read that book, fella. Yeah, so I'll start with some music I'm excited about. So I've been listening to kind of a mix of some things over the last couple weeks. Excuse me. But this week coming up, the R&B album potentially of the year is coming out this week. With Diddy dropping his R&B, the Love album, whatever the hell it's called, the Love album, Love R&B.
I think it's Love R&B or some shit.
The Love album, Off the Grid. So Diddy's dropping it on Friday. If you can think of the person who's relevantly been in music, R&B, rap, things like that, almost 15 years. I mean, we can go with The Dream, Busta Rhymes, Fab, Jacquees, Sway Lee, Summer Walker, French Montana, Justin Bieber, Jasmine Sullivan. The list goes on and on. I mean, Ty Dolla $ign, Mary J. Blige. Like, the list goes on and on. It's an hour and 25 minutes. It's gonna be 23 songs. I think it's gonna be a great vibe going into the weekend. Turn the music up. It's the end of the week. So I would say I'm excited about that. This week, so we watched. This last weekend was absolutely encapsulated by football. NFL season started.
All day Sunday.
Them playing along with fantasy football, things like that. Went 1-1. Actually, no, I went 1-1, and then the league that I had no idea I was in, that I did not draft a single person, I completely blew up my first opponent, which I thought was hilarious. Neither here nor there. But we're talking about real life.
Yes.
So in real life, I have been watching coming out of the wire baseball with the playoff picture kind of going together. But I have been listening to more music, kind of like in the car and things like that. So I will, however, I know we usually suggest shows and movies. But I want to suggest Club Shay Shay. He actually dropped an interview with Chris Brown today.
Okay.
Kind of out of nowhere. A lot of people didn't know that he was going to interview Chris Brown, which is kind of cool. You know, a lot of times they give a lot of run to it.
This is where he said he has like 15 grand worth of songs.
This is where he said he had like 18,000 songs or something like that he has never released. But he said his next album is going to be 11/11. Does not mean it's coming out in November. He doesn't know that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But he said it's going to be like 11 songs. But it was a very like talking more about like the early, like how he got to where he was. Like talk about like when you first recorded, like 12, 13 years old. And then kind of some of the things that he looks at in life, some of the things that it was like a very like wholesome like interview. And I think that like the image Chris Brown has been trying to build the last few years, kind of like being in his business, being by, you know, staying out the way, don't want any smoke. If someone doesn't like something, it's cool. But kind of also just giving him his flowers since for some of the success that he's had over his career that may be overshadowed by some people's opinions of him. And as we all know, Shannon Sharp just joined First Take on ESPN, which has been doing very well. He's on there on Mondays and Tuesdays. I'm a huge fan of Shannon Sharp. I was a fan of him like, as a player. I remember watching him with the Broncos, watching him with the Ravens. But just his media career overall, I just think he is just a great product. He has some great interviews for his podcast. That's Unc right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's He Just Sports Talk. So I suggest if you have a chance to listen to that. I mean, of course, my favorite podcast is our shit right here.
Of course.
It's fire. But I do listen to other podcasts, listen to other people's shows, interviews. It's cool, you know, kind of get an idea of some other things. I'm trying to think if I have some stand-up that I'm going to watch. I don't think I made it to it just yet. Let me just make sure I did not make it to it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not very exciting. I've been watching Suits. That's about it. So.
Okay.
But it's been a lot of sports this last week. I want to say there's some movie coming out somewhere.
Well, Blue Beetle's out right now.
Did you see
Equalizer
that?
3 is out. No, those are my next two things on my radar that I need to watch.
Okay.
So Blue Beetle
Yeah.
and Equalizer 3.
I heard Equalizer 3 was good. I have not made it to see it yet. But yeah, no. So that Diddy album, I would definitely say suggest. And then Club Shay Shay, if you haven't seen it before, New Heights. That's one with the Kelsey brothers. Their interviews. That's pretty funny. He did a show with Jason Kelsey's wife.
Okay.
They did a show. They finally got her on a show. It was actually a pretty funny episode. So yeah, I mean, when you're done listening to the best podcast ever, you know,
Sure.
us two fellas here, and Rudy when he's not on PTO, go check out some other stuff. Since YouTube has a lot of stuff in there, so that would be my suggestions.
Bet. So you already alluded to Kelsey. So the Kelsey documentary actually just
the
dropped.
documentary. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So they actually dropped today. I am going to watch that shit probably while I'm editing this goddamn show. Because I saw some of the, I don't really think they called it a red carpet, but a lot of some of the post interviews from players, coaches, things like that kind of went to the opening showing. And it looks like it's actually pretty dope. So I'm gonna go tune into that. They said it's probably one of the best. People are claiming it's probably one of the best sports documentaries done in quite a while. Actually, so I'm actually looking forward.
Did you finish
to
quarterback?
Quarterback was good. Yeah, I did fuck with quarterback. Quarterback was good.
It was like high level. Like it wasn't like super crazy in
Mhm.
depth. Like it wasn't dramatic.
Yep.
But it was pretty cool.
I feel like like at least listening to what Kelsey's about is very similar. So you kind of follow his life, you know, with the team, without the team. Just had a new baby, so you get to see like the road to the Super Bowl and all this shit. So it looks pretty cool. So I'm gonna check the shit out.
Speaking of that, shout out Xavier Gibson, who was on Hard Knocks with the Jets, barely made the Jets team, ended up returning a punt in overtime to win the game on Monday night. Not Black King, by the way. So we got on a roll, man. We had a solid couple weeks.
We win.
I mean, we win every day, but I mean, we just had some definitely shout outs. So he was on Hard Knocks, which is another reality show. I think it's on HBO Max.
What?
Maybe it was on Hard Knocks.
I think it's on HBO Max.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically just follows like a football team through like training camp, things like that. People going through practice, building bonds, things like that, and then I don't think it falls with the season. I think it's just off season.
No, it's just off season stuff.
Yeah, so well basically the guy he barely made the team. He was possibly on the cut list, and they gave him an opportunity. He makes a team, and then this past Monday he ended up winning the game for the Jets. So
walk off John too.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool story. So yeah.
All right. Also, for another TV show, we talked about the One Piece live action show now, so that's also, I'm gonna bring that back into recommendations. Cause I did advance a little bit further. They did a really good job with it. Yeah, I know I've talked about live action animes being very poorly done. I think this is really good. From the casting to the acting to just the whole nine. And I'm looking forward to seeing all the episodes that kind of come to life. So it's actually pretty cool. So that's on there. From a music standpoint, so I know we had a couple, I mentioned a couple albums. This week was more so a couple singles. I got an EP in there. So Before Boa, new single by A Boogie with the Hoodie. I've been bumping that this week, so that is on my recommendation list.
Yeah, good call.
Fed Time by Roddy Rebel, and On Point. That's actually a really good song, so tune into that.
Fed Time by Roddy Rebel, okay, got it.
Ira Star, so y'all know I'm on my Afro beats, Afro pop, Afro fusion wave. So she has a new song called Rhythm and Blues. Check that out. It's a solid vibe, especially if you want some like feel good, like roll the windows down type music. Tune into that shit. And then my last new song is, what's it called? Bongos, with Cardi B and Meg. Meg
Not good.
The video was
on mute.
I mean, we've talked about Meg Thee Stallion. I mean, I'll support Cardi B. Cardi B actually makes some decent music, but Meg Thee Stallion to me is just kind of redundant. So I don't know.
I think I had higher expectations for it because of the two of them, and I think the last time the two of them came together, I mean, WAP was interesting. I don't know, it was like my favorite song to listen to forever, but I mean, WAP was interesting. But yeah, maybe it was expectations of it. It didn't do anything for me. Like, I liked the beat, and I thought it gave like a very reggaeton feel. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, you got a Spanish rapper in here. You're gonna say, she said one line. Mm-hmm. I think it was like 1.5 lines Spanish. I was like, okay. Right. I don't know. I just don't want to hear about anyone else's money and quality of their vagina in correlation. I'm tired. I'm very tired.
Tired now.
But I see what's funny though. Like, could you imagine if like guys that rap
about their penises?
Yeah. That'd be so
wouldn't sell. Because I guarantee even women wouldn't buy that shit. So last but not least,
there's a couple pretty catchy lines about rap history you talk about, like their penises.
I mean, yeah.
Or like their sex.
But I'm like an entire song and then continuous songs, like over time, like the shit would just get annoying and be played out. My last.
Yeah, refrain about penis. Yeah, guys, don't do
it. Let's not do
refrain about how bomb your dick is not. It's not gonna go well in the
hood. So the EP Checkmate by Check. He is an Afro pop fusion artist. Yeah, he's newer to the scene, but the EP is actually fire. He has some good features on there. So those who know, Fireboy DML was on there, Crayon was on there. And I believe he had Omalay on there, so he had some good features on there. It's quick. It's a nice little six song get through. But every single song on there is a banger. So definitely tune into that. And then last but not least is my recommendation each and every week, man, is the greatest podcast to ever touch your airways, the Fresh Cuts Pod. We wouldn't be nothing without y'all. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all, man. Continue doing what y'all do. As we say each and every week, SOS, share our shits.
Yo, support is free. Be with nothing without you guys. For you guys hopping on the live, making us laugh, joking, kicking in with the questions, comments, concerns. For those of you who hop on the Twitch, follow us on Twitch. For those of you who see us on the YouTube, follow us on the YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
We everywhere.
Twitter. Yeah, I mean, we literally exist all over the place, but we're nothing without you guys. Any topics you guys want to talk about, cool. We've had guests. We've had people come chop up on the live.
Comment section. We've had a mix. Twitch.
Whatever, bro. We're out here. We're around, and we're still doing this for mostly free. So, catch us while the price is low. Because, we definitely going up for sure. But, won't hold y'all too long. We appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
Have a great rest of your week.
Enjoy.
We're going to see y'all next week.
We got a lot of things that's coming up on the horizon, man. But a lot of shit that's coming on this coming week, man. We got more football. It's great. It's
Yo,
lovely. The
we're all
baseball
fans-
season is winding down.
We're all fans of Coach Prime, by the way.
Yes.
Colorado
We got a
Buffaloes.
big game this weekend.
Colorado, they gonna roll Colorado.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you see Deion Sanders as a Coach Prime, yo, I'm not gonna hold you. Might cop the hoodie, bro. The joint where it says I ain't hard to find.
Ain't hard to
But that
find.
joint,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Let
Let me see if I can try and find one by next year. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna pay that shit. But anyway, we appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great week. We gonna holler at y'all just like that.
We out.
Bazinga.
Peace. Peace, Twitch. Love y'all. Catch y'all next week, man.
Bye.
Good night, 6.